Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever build video that I'm doing right now. I'm recording this live too, so excuse me if I screw up once in a while. This is about a Necromancer PvE Healer, and it's a pretty cool build. I've been playing on it for the past 2 weeks or so, and I've had lots of fun with it. First things first, we are buffed up with blue food. You can use the tri-stat food, but I think max health 5k and max magicka almost 5k is enough for this build. I didn't have any problems surviving or with my sustain anyway. So blue food will be good. We are a Breton sitting on 37k max magicka, 18k max health, 10k max stamina, 2k magicka recovery, and spell resistance is 16k, physical resistance is 9k, more than 9k. All 64 points into magicka. We are using the Thaumaturge for increased magicka recovery. I know that 2k are quite high anyway. You might be able to do without this one and then use the healing Mundus instead. That gives you increased healing, but yeah, that's up to you really. Try it out, whatever you like better. So let's get into the skills. Front bar, we have Energy Orb. This starts out as Necrotic Orb. Comes from the Undaunted skill line, I think at level 5 or 6. So you'll have to do quite a lot of dungeons and daily pledges to unlock this. But it's definitely worth it. What it does is it shoots these orbs towards your allies. They heal your allies and they can activate synergy from them. Next thing we've got is Healing Springs. This comes from the Restoration Staff skill line, second thing you can unlock here. And this is pretty much your basic spammable heal. Each stack works too, so just spam this if you're in trouble or your allies are in trouble. This is where it gets interesting. Now we're getting into the Necromancer skills. We've got Summoner's Armor here. This one gives us Major Resolve and Major Ward, increasing our physical and spell resistance for another 5k for 17 seconds. And also, it will reduce the cost of the Spirit Mender, which we've also got in this bar. And it creates a corpse when the effect is completed. So that's 3 really good things. We get more physical and spell resistance, the Spirit Mender will be cheaper, and we can create a corpse which we'll need for another skill on the back bar. This comes from the Bone Tyrant skill line. Starts out as something, but you saw the Morph Summoner's Armor. The other one will create a chain that pulls adds to you, and as a healer you do not necessarily want that. So Summoner's Armor is the way to go. Then we've got the Spirit Mender. I've morphed it to Intensive Mender. This, the other morph, I forgot what it's called, I think Ghost Mender something? Whatever. The other morph lasts for 16 seconds, but heals for about half of this. So I'd prefer the big heal, and it lasting 8 seconds can be seen as a disadvantage, but it creates a corpse every time it runs out, so I'm seeing it as more of an advantage. Yeah, you have to cast it more often, but you get more corpses. Next thing we've got, oh yeah, Spirit Mender is from the healing skill line, Living Death, by the way. Next thing we've got is Combat Prayer from the Restoration Staff skill line. This is pretty much like an elemental blockade for healers. You slam your staff down and people in front of you will heal for 5k, and you'll also grant them Minor Berserk, Minor Resolve and Minor Ward, so you'll buff them up quite well. Next thing we've got is Aggressive Warhorn. This comes from the Assault skill line, so you'll have to do a couple battlegrounds for this, maybe 5 or 6 matches though. It's not that hard to get there. Morph it to Aggressive Warhorn. What it does is it will increase your allies' max magicka and max stamina by 10% for 30 seconds, and you also gain, or they also gain, Major Force, increasing their critical damage. So this is the one you'll use when the boss fights start. Back bar. Elemental Drain is the first one. This is our destruction stuff bar. We're using a lightning stuff. What Elemental Drain does is it'll inflict Major Breach and Minor Magic Steal for 24 seconds to the target. So your Magicka DDs will get more Magicka back when they're attacking, and Minor Breach is also on the boss, reducing their spell resistance. So this one, Enduring Undeath, is our AoE heal, but you'll need a corpse for it. More corpses, the more corpses the better. This comes from the Living Death skill line. Morph it to Enduring Undeath. That means the more corpses on the ground, the longer it'll last, and the stronger it'll get. Then we've got Necrotic Potency. This is what we're doing when we've got corpses left over that we didn't use for the AoE heal. We'll just suck them up and create ultimate for all the corpses on the ground, so we can spam our Warhorn more often. Then we've got Unnerving Boneyard. This is from the Gravelord skill tree. This is the only one from the Gravelord skill tree that we're using. It's more of a sort of more of a DD AoE really, but it's pretty good on a healer because it'll apply Major Breach and Fracture to all the enemies within, reducing their spell and physical resistance. Also, it'll create a synergy called Grave Robber, so just put that on the boss, on the ads, to reduce their resistances. And if you've got someone, for example, Vernalkosh, or another set that can use synergies very well, they can activate your synergy. And the last thing we've got here is Blockade of Storms. This is Elemental Blockade. It's called Blockade of Storms because we're using a Lightning Staff, and what it does is you slam your staff down, it'll create this barrier in front of you, dealing shock damage. But what we really want it for is because it can set the enemies concussed and then create the off-balance effect. That's what we're looking for. And the ultimate, Renewing Animation. This is pretty much a AoE resurrect, so it can resurrect up to 3 allies at the same time without you having to do anything but putting this on them. And it's pretty good oh shit button for raids or trials or dungeons if your team is close to dying, or if only you and the tank are left. Just run over there, spam this on them, not spam this, just put this on them, and they'll all be back. Now, for passives, you'll want all of the ones in the class trees. They're all kind of useful, some more than others, but none of them are useless, so just get all of them. Same thing with destruction, restoration stuff. You want all of the passives in here. You want all of the passives in light armor. You want the first 3 in heavy armor. This will increase our physical and spell resistance for the one piece of heavy armor that we've got equipped. This one will give us better health recovery, and this one will give us more maximum health. In the medium armor tree, I figure Windwalker is the one that's important because that'll increase our stamina recovery. This one will give us weapon critical, but we're a healer, so if you don't have the skill points, please just save them. And this one is called Improved Sneak, so it'll reduce the cost of sneaking, but that's something we don't really need as a healer. Soul Magic, you don't need anything in there. Fighter's Guild, this one is quite good just for generating more ultimate when we kill undead, Daedra, or werewolf. Mage's Guild, you don't really need anything in here. I mean, you could probably somehow work in a light into this build, but it's unnecessary, and yeah, some of the passives will be good, but generally looking for all these books is just a shitload of work, and you can do very well without all that. Undaunted though, you want these, definitely all of them. This one for synergies, and this one because we are using 1 piece of heavy, 1 piece of medium, and 5 pieces of light, so they will benefit very well from them. Then Assault, you don't need anything in there. Support, you could maybe have Magicka 8 if you'd use Purge, which is good for some contents like Halls of Fabrication, which is why the skill is unlocked, but other than that, I'm never using it, so I just didn't want to spend the skill points. Breton though, you want all of these, obviously. And another thing you'll want is, in Alchemy, there's this one, Medicinal Use, for your potions to last longer, and Provisioning for your food to last longer, just so you can save some food. These will be good. Now there's a couple skills that you could switch out if you wanted to, and that will be Render Flesh, which is kind of a burst heal, pretty strong one too for 9k, but you'll put Minor Defile on yourself, so if you want to use that, you'll have to work Expunge in there as well to remove these negative effects again from you. And the other skill that we just mentioned, Purge, it's good for some stuff. But really, I've done very well without Render Flesh and Expungement Modifier, what it's called, yeah. So, try it out. If you figure you can't do enough healing, or you need like a stronger burst heal, then I guess I'd just put Boneyard off here and maybe Summoner's Armor here. And then use the other two skills for that. But, let's see how the build works anyway. Now, what you want to do on your back bar is put Boneyard down, Elemental Drain on, and put the Blockade down. Set off balance. There it goes, off balance. That's pretty much the back bar thing. So this will happen. Boss fight starts, get all this stuff on. Then spam some healing springs because you haven't been healing on your back bar. Get your Summoner's Armor up and your Spirit Mender after it, because it'll be cheaper. Then either keep healing or renew your back bar debuffs. Now here, you've got the corpse. After 8 seconds, put the healing field down on the back bar. And then go on healing. Healing springs. Throw some orbs. Combat prayer, put it down. Some more orbs. And always keep your Summoner's Armor and your Mender up, as when these will die. There you go, Boneyard, Elemental Drain, Blockade, and it's dead. You can cast a healing field. And get some more healing going. Throw an orb. And put your armor and your Spirit Mender up again. Get the back bar debuff stack on the boss. Or an act group, this will also work with act groups. And as soon as the corpse is dead, heal. Obviously, you don't wait until the corpse dies, right? So, you go here. Back bar debuffs, heals, put up the Spirit Mender, get some heals down, get Combat Prayer down, spam some healing springs, use some orbs, and then when you're in your back bar anyway, and the corpse is dead, then use it, right? Okay, I was a bit slow there. Let's get into the sets. What I'm using here is kind of unconventional, but it works quite well actually. We've got Cold Harbor's Favorite. You can craft this, it's a new set, new crafted set from elsewhere. It gives you max magicka, max stamina, spell damage, weapon damage, and the cool thing is, when you heal yourself or an ally, you summon Cadwell's Noble Mount Honor, and he'll cast healing spells for 14k health over 4 seconds on a group, you know? So, this is kind of like a support heal for you, because you don't have to take care of it. You've just got it on your set, and it'll proc if somebody is in need of it. And you got that. So we want the restoration stuff empowered with an absorb magicka enchant, and the lightning stuff in the back bar infused with a shock damage enchant. Next set we're using is Warm Cult here. This will give us spell damage, max magicka, magicka recovery, and it'll reduce the cost of the magicka abilities for the whole team within 28 meters. So this is really good too. You can get this from Waltz of Madness, and it drops quite frequently, so it's not a hard set to farm. All the big pieces, head, chest, and shoulders, we want infused. I know this is not infused, but I haven't gotten around to transforming it yet, transmuting it. And all the small pieces we want in divines. And all of them with max magicka enchantments. I've tried the tri-stats, but honestly, if I just have max magicka enchantments on them, I don't have health problems or stamina problems at all, really, even in veteran contents and trials. So I just run the magicka glyphs. They're cheaper too. Jewelry, obviously, Cold Harbor to get the 5-piece bonus, because we've got 2 staffs and the jewelry. We want max magicka, so in arcane, all of it, and with magicka recovery glyph on it. You can craft this set, by the way, I mentioned that, right? Okay. So, Warm Cult and the monster set is, of course, Bot Guns. It is probably the best healer set right now, I'd say. It gives us another max magicka, and if we heal a friendly target, we have a 5% chance to summon a totem for 6 seconds. that'll heal the allies within 5 meters of it. So you've got Cold Harbors. This just procs when you heal people. You've got bot guns, which just procs when you heal people, which is what you're doing anyway. So you get a lot of support just from your sets, and you reduce the magic costs for the whole team. Pretty good, actually. You can also work this, especially since most healers these days are wearing Olareams and something like Yorvils, a spell power cures, the typical healer sets, right? But in my experience, in most normal trials, it's enough. And also in some wet trials, if one of the healers is Olareams. Because if the group stands tightly together by the boss and will cast it on them, they'll get it anyway, you know? So you can utilize something else like Worm Cult for the Magicka. If you wanted to, obviously, you could switch out Cold Harbors for something like Olareams or Yorvils or Spell Power Cure, but in my opinion, this build works quite well as it is. So try it out. If you don't like it, get another set, but try it out first. It's definitely worth trying out. Yeah, big piece is an infused. I said that. Legs, chest, and head. Rest and divines. That's pretty much it. Now, I'll upload a gameplay video of this healer and vet trials for you to watch, and I'll explain again how I'm using it, how I'm utilizing all the skills. And yeah, so maybe you get a better impression of it. But for now, that's it. I'm hoping you enjoy this. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer. Alright, have a good day and have fun with the healer. Bye.